Bhusunda, the crow, has been telling Vasishta how he and his siblings came into being. And it seems that it's quite a remarkable story. They seem to have been conceived in what I think can fairly be described as a tantric orgy. But even within this incredible setting, reminders to self-knowledge are brought to the fore. So Bhusunda's father, Chanda, said, "Children, have you gone beyond the dragnet known as the world appearance, after having cut the shackles of vasana or mental conditioning? Or else come, let us adore the goddess by whose grace you will attain the highest wisdom." So this is a choice. You can either get on with your self-knowledge, and if you're not up for that, then you might as well get on with more conventional religious practices. We replied, "Father, we have gained the knowledge that is worth gaining by the grace of the goddess Brahmi. We seek a secluded and excellent place to dwell." Chanda said, "There is an excellent mountain in the world known as Meru, which is a support for the 14 worlds and for all the beings that dwell in them. All the gods and sages dwell in it. On it is the wish-fulfilling tree. On one of the branches I once built a nest, while the goddess Alambusa was in deep meditation. It is beautiful and excellent in every way. Children, go to that nest and live in it. You'll never encounter any hindrance." In accordance with our father's instructions, all of us came here and took up our abode in that nest. So this is quite interesting. They've gained the knowledge that is worth gaining. And then they're asked to go and live on Mt Meru, which is not only the axis of the world, but it refers to a central channel of pranic energy which goes along our spine. So it seems that once you have achieved some realization of the truth, then that is a time that it can be appropriate to engage in yogic practices. Bhusunda continued, "There was a world in days of yore which is not far beyond our memory, for we witnessed it ourselves." Vasishta asked, "What happened to your brothers, for I see only you here?" Bhusunda continued, "A very long time has passed, O sage, and in course of time my brothers abandoned their physical existence and ascended to the heaven of Lord Shiva. Indeed, even long-lived persons who may be holy and saintly and strong are consumed in the course of time by time or death." Vasishta asked, "How is it that you have remained unaffected by the heat and the cold and the wind and the fire?" Bhusunda continued, "Truly, to be embodied as a crow, held in contempt by the people, is not a happy state, though the Creator has amply provided for the survival of even the humble crow. But we have remained immersed in the self, happy and contented. Hence we have survived in spite of ever so many calamities. We have remained firmly established in the self, having abandoned vain activities that are but torment of the body and the mind. To this physical body there is misery, neither in life nor in death. Hence we remain as we are, not seeking anything other than what is. We have seen the fate of the worlds. We have mentally abandoned identification with the body. Established in self-knowledge and remaining on this tree, I see the passage of time. Through the practice of pranayama, I have risen above the division of time. Hence I am at peace within my heart, and I am not affected by the events of the world. Let all beings vanish, or let them come into existence. We have no fear at all. Let all these beings enter into the ocean known as time or death. But we are seated on the shores of that ocean, and are therefore unaffected. We neither accept nor reject. We appear to be, but we are not what appears to be. Thus do we remain on this tree. Though we engage ourselves in diverse activities, we do not get drowned in mental mortifications, and we never lose contact with the reality. Lord, that nectar for which the gods churned the ocean is inferior to the nectarine blessing that flows from the very presence of sages like you. I consider nothing more praiseworthy than the company of sages who are free from all cravings and desires. Holy One, even though I have already attained self-knowledge, I consider that my birth has been truly fulfilled, in that today I have seen you and I have enjoyed your company. Bhusunda continued, This wish-fulfilling tree is not shaken by the various natural calamities, nor by the cataclysms caused by living beings. There have been several of the latter when demons have tried to destroy or overwhelm the earth, as also when the Lord has intervened and rescued the earth from the grip of the demons. During all these, this tree has remained unaffected. Even the flood and the scorching heat of the sun, attendant upon cosmic dissolution, have not succeeded in shaking this tree. On account of this, we who dwell on this tree have also escaped harm. Evil overtakes one who lives in an unholy place. And that place is anywhere which is not aware of the self. It's where awareness dwells when it's not dwelling on itself. Vasishta asked, but at the end of the life of the cosmos, when everything is dissolved, how have you managed to survive? So we're speaking in cosmic terms here, but I think there's actually some very subtle observations arising from spiritual practice here. Bhusunda replied, During that period, O sage, I abandoned this nest, even as an ungrateful man abandons his friend. Then I remain united with cosmic space, totally free from all thoughts and mental mortifications. When the 12 cosmic suns pour unbearable heat upon this creation, I practice the Varuni dharana and remain unaffected. Varuna is a lord of waters. Varuni dharana is contemplation of Varuna. When the wind blows with such force as to uproot even mountains, I practice the Parvati dharana and remain unaffected. Parvata is mountain and Parvati dharana is contemplation of the mountain. When the whole universe is flooded with the waters of cosmic dissolution, I practice Vayu dharana and remain unaffected. Vayu is wind and Vayu dharana is contemplation of the wind. Then I remain as if in deep sleep till the beginning of the next cosmic cycle. When the new creator begins to create a new cosmos, I resume my abode in this nest. What happens when we start looking at self-inquiry and when we start to practice dispassion or to realize dispassion? The ego operates on very subtle levels. And here it's almost like it's being described as a crow. And that crow isn't going to allow itself to be dissolved in the dissolution of the ego. It very cleverly hops from one branch to another, justifying itself, making excuses for itself to not be properly extinguished.